Hey guys, it's Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art, and for our next week we are going to spread some love by doing a little Valentine heart using only gouache. So we are going to be painting together live Tuesday night, 7:15 Central Standard Time, but for now here's a little preview. Okay, so I'm going to start by laying my gouache colors out on my palette, and then after I lay those out I'm going to grab a pencil and just slightly draw a heart shape on my paper. Now the floral I'm going to start with, it kind of looks like we're looking at it from the side. So to do that, you just do a longer curved line along the bottom and then 3 petals on top of that. Now anytime you're doing a bouquet or you're filling in space here, you always want to start with the larger items first, because it's so much easier to fill in space in between large items than if you did a bunch of small ones, which we are going to have a lot of smaller details in this too, but we want to usually lay down our bigger ones first and then work around that. Now these flowers here, they're kind of just circular, and I leave the white of it, leave the center of it white, because I'm going to go back in and add a yellow center around that too. Now this pretty peach color I got from mixing my yellow ochre and my shell pink, but it was a little too peach for me, so I went back with another layer of shell pink right on top of that color. And this is the wonderful thing about gouache, is because it's opaque, you just get to see that wonderful color laid down on top. It doesn't mix even when it's wet. So that's, gouache makes it really fun to do layerings with different colors and doing detailing with different colors, because it's not going to bleed in. If you mess with it too much, then it might turn a little bit muddy, but if you just lay down colors on top, you should be fine. Now I'm going to do that same side flower on the top right hand side, and when you do this, make sure the 2 side petals are kind of coming off that longer petal that you first lay down, kind of coming up and over it, and that is just going to make it seem like it's kind of flowering or blooming, or kind of coming out across the side. Now another good thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is, usually I lay down a color and then I see what colors are around it, and I will put a different color kind of right next to it. So if I have like 2 darker green items, leaves, and I want to put another leaf in between there, I will do like more of a yellow green. Same thing, I just laid down the tiny red flower in between those peach flowers there, and that just gives it variation of color, and that way you won't run into having a problem where only one section is one color. That way we kind of mix it up and it's even all the way through. Now I laid down my medium-sized kind of flowers and leaves, and now I'm going in and just trying to fill up space using smaller things. So I'm adding little leaves and little dots around. I'm starting to fill in the center of my flowers, and I'm just kind of doing smaller work around here because we want this to seem really full and filled up. So anywhere there's a white space, put something in there. A good thing that you can put in there are tiny flowers, maybe just 1 leaf, or even I like to do just little 3 dots together. It's a little bit different than what's out there, and then it also is a good way to fill up some space. Now when I lay down my gouache to paint, I like to put the colors that I'm going to mix in the middle. So I put that yellow ochre right in the middle, because I know that I was going to mix it with my green and also my pink, and so that way it's just easier for me to reach for both. Now I'm just kind of going in and looking and seeing where there's spaces that I still need to fill in, if both sides of the heart feel pretty even. I felt like the left side was a little bit bigger, so I went on the right side and put some flowers or some leaves kind of going out from it, and that kind of adds a little bit of weight to it. So then that way both sides of the heart seem pretty even and seem kind of like the same size. And then I take my liner brush and I'm just going to start doing detail work. I did a few lines coming out from the center of my flowers. I'm not going to go in and do lines across my entire petal, because I kind of want to give it a different look than what we did last week. But if you really liked the look of those thin lines on those petals, then you can go ahead and do that here too. Then I add the centers of my flowers, and then I just go around and add things, and then you are done. Good job, guys.
Is that fun?
Did that